Hey, I'm Logan Gill. Just wanted to give a big thank you to those donors and supporters that made it possible for me and my bride Rachel to attend the Wilderness Ministry Professionals course. I chose to sign up for this course primarily just feeling this call and this excitement, this passion kind of drawing up within me to lead ministry courses in the field and in the wilderness and help people walk through that transformative space. And so just feeling that passion and that call from the Lord to step into some professional training for that space and how to help guide others through those spaces just really excited me and really drew me to SROM and to this course. What was the most impactful part of my course? Wow, that's hard to pin down, honestly, when you take 15 days in the wilderness with such a great community of people and such great leaders. But I would say the solo that we went on during course, where we actually are given a space for 24 hours and we're kind of on our own and just to be with the Lord. And I entered that space as intentional as I knew how. We had just gone through the devotional Priest, Prophet, King and talked about how the priests would prepare themselves physically and spiritually to enter into the tent and enter into the presence of God. And so I actually got into my solo space. I got in there and just head to toe clean as well as I could with wet wipes and the cleanest, driest clothes I had. And then entered in from that physical cleanliness to a spiritual just time of repentance and prayer with a very high expectation that God would meet me in that space, and He definitely did. That experience was the first time I'd ever felt the presence of God that strongly, and I just felt kind of myself being forced down to my knees in prayer, and after that entered into this just as direct a conversation as I've ever had with God or have heard of someone else having with Him through biblical journaling and something that Andrew had taught us about Jesus journaling. We're kind of literally writing down this conversation to Him and then from Him to myself. The Lord really not only met me there and I felt His presence there, but also gained a lot of clarity, a lot of vision for my future. I had this childlike adventure spirit that was kind of rekindled and rebirthed through that experience, gaining that ability and the desire to dream again and to explore with a new joy, and not only just my physical surrounding in the canyon on that trip from the solo on, but even since we've come back, like just being excited again to dream and experience life and new relationships and people. And so that was just a massive blessing that I'm incredibly grateful for. So one thing we do on course, we talk about I am statements and how to develop that and to look at someone I once was, but now who I am or am becoming. But one specifically was that I was living with an orphan heart and with an orphan mindset, even as a Christian, living like I was on the outside of God's grace and love if I didn't do certain things or perform a certain way. But through the course, learning and experiencing and feeling for the first time that I am a son of God now, and I'm living with that freedom and with that grace and with that joy that comes with living in my true identity as His son. Another thing we learn and talk about on course is spiritual upgrades or just upgrades in general. And man, so many times I would be sitting down journaling and just be overcome with this like joy of what it was like to journal again, especially to God, and then writing down little notes that I felt I was receiving from Him. And so that was a major upgrade for me, was just learning spiritual discipline of journaling again, and being able to walk through that and just gain that conversation piece back with God in a new way that helps keep me focused and growing as a leader and as a Christian and as a man and a husband. Being able to learn that communication over again was a big upgrade that I hope to not only continue to practice on a spiritual level, but continue and even begin to practice with my bride and just in daily life. How did I grow as a leader? I was actually thinking about this the other day. I spent 4 years researching leadership. That was my undergraduate studies. I learned a lot of theories and saw a lot of case studies, and being in the field with such a loving community and with people who were just such humble leaders and gifted leaders as well really helped me shape some new schemas of what that looks like for me as a leader to grow. More specifically, taking some of those leadership theories and ideas and putting them into practice and walking through those was incredibly helpful and helped grow me, I feel like, a lot as a leader. And it definitely a lot of lessons that I will take from this course into the future, not only as a field instructor and ministry professional, but into my family life and just into my community. What am I most thankful for? I think it's hard to name one specific thing, but probably the most impactful thing I'm most grateful for was just being able to go on this course with my bride. That really helped us both grow, not just as individuals and instructors and as ministry professionals, but just as a couple. And that helps, I think, really shape our future and where we're headed within wilderness ministry and just within our future. So I'm very grateful for that and for you and for those who supported us to get here. So once again, thank you to those who supported me financially and prayerfully, and who made it possible for me to go on this course. It's hard to describe just how much I've actually grown and gained as a leader and as a Christian, and as a field instructor who is going to be taking students into the field, hopefully to meet God and to hear what He has for them. I think in a nutshell, this course has greatly empowered me to steward those students well, that God allows us to steward in the field. And I'm just very grateful for you and for your support. So thank you again.